Welcome back to Peek into COS. Today I'm joined by the owners of Latigo Winery, Lisa and Ben Nelson. It's great to have you both of you here.
Thanks for having us.
Down from Black Forest.
Yep.
That's great. So before we get into your story, let's tell people, number one, where you're located. So people, because we know Black Forest, but there could be listeners that is that in Germany? Where is the Black Forest? So let's tell them where you're located.
Okay.
And how then we'll get into your story.
Now, that's pretty common because most people outside of the Colorado Springs area don't really know where Black Forest is. So Black Forest is located in the northeast corner of Colorado Springs. We're technically unincorporated Colorado Springs, but still in El Paso County.
El Paso County, sure.
We're located, main cross streets is Black Forest and Burgess Road. So if you're heading up north, you can get off on Woodman and head east all the way till you get to Black Forest Road, and then go north about 4 miles, and you'll see us on the right side. We're in the Black Forest Square shopping center. We'll call it a shopping center, but that's where the post office is at. There's a jewelry store, chiropractor.
And what's your website address?
LatigoWinery.com.
LatigoWinery.com. Okay, great. And you know, Instagram and all those things too?
Instagram, Facebook. And if they go to our website, they can go to our Visit Us page.
Yeah.
And there's a nice little map and address, our hours of operation, everything's on there.
I just didn't want to forget to get that in because it looks like you brought some wine.
Yes.
So I didn't want to get to the end and say, oh yeah, that's right. We forgot to tell people where you are, how to find you, and all those things. So what'd you bring?
I brought our 2024 Gewürztraminer, which is our newest release. It is a dry Gewürztraminer. Has lots of rose and floral notes on the nose and a clean, crisp finish.
So should we pour some?
Might as well.
Let's chat and sip, as they say. And so maybe while Ben's pouring, Lisa, I don't know which one of you wants to start, but how did the winery come to be? Where did it get conceived?
Oh, absolutely. So Ben and I are both from the hospitality industry, so we've been in hospitality 20 plus years.
What side of the hospitality industry?
So food and beverage.
Okay.
So I worked front of the house food and beverage manager of hotels, resorts, country clubs, and he was back of the house. So sous chef at hotels and country clubs as well. So
all over the country?
Mine was mainly California, Oregon and California, and then when we moved here in 2005, then I worked in country club here for about a year before getting out of the back of the house.
Sure. How about you, Lisa?
All over. So I used to work for the Navy, so I actually was in their services division. So I actually lived in Japan, Italy, Iceland. So yeah, and then here in the States, California, Maryland, Florida, all over.
Sure.
So
it's one of the things that I don't want to just like pass over. And I say that because there will be people who are listening who don't understand our industry, if you will. Because I've spent my entire career in hospitality and tourism. I went to hotel restaurant school and college to study it. And there are people who don't fully grasp that not only could you work all over the world, but you can have a career in hospitality. And, we're going to get into your story now, but there are people who look sometimes at hotels and restaurants and country clubs and think of it as a job. And yes, it is a job depending on your stage of life, but all of us started somewhere. And here we are. So I appreciate you sharing your backgrounds in hospitality, which is what led us to where we are. So where did you guys meet in California?
We met in Yosemite National Park.
Okay.
Yeah, we both worked at the Yosemite Lodge at the time. She was front of the house. I was back of the house.
Right.
So yeah, we were there for about 2 years.
Okay.
And then decided we wanted to get out of the mountains because we were in the middle of the mountains.
Right.
Closest thing to us was about an hour away, and so
So what brought you to Colorado, and specifically Colorado Springs?
One was we wanted to be close to the mountains,
Yeah.
but not in them, like I said. But we also wanted good weather, lots of sunshine.
Yeah.
And so this area has over 300 days of sunshine, lots of mountains around you. lots and decent job opportunities as well.
You
'Cause
bet.
we just kind of picked up and left and didn't really have a job when we.
And smaller, we
Yeah.
didn't want to be in Denver. We're not big city.
Yeah.
We're small to medium city. So
Yeah.
this seemed to be a good fit.
We like to call ourselves like middleweight.
Yeah, exactly.
We box in our middleweight, if you
Yep.
will. Sometimes above, sometimes below. But so, give us the story of the winery. How did it begin?
Well, you could probably blame Lisa for that.
Okay, it's all Lisa.
Yeah.
I get blamed for everything. It's
Yeah.
okay.
So probably it was 15, 16 years ago. She bought me first it was a beer kit, a beer making kit.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, it was a wine making kit. And so then that sent me down the rabbit hole of making beer and wine
At home.
At home.
Yep.
And then, slowly moving up from there and wanting to get more detail. And so we kind of looked into getting actual grapes in, because first when you have kits, you're just dealing with juice.
Okay.
And so then it kind of expands from there, and it was something that I enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
And I think
And you're just having fun with it.
We're just having fun with
this
it.
Is a
It
little,
was-
this isn't even a side hustle. This is just fun.
this
Let's
is just,
make something that my wife would like to drink
there
at
you
home.
go. There you go. Okay, good.
it's, definitely with the wine kit. The beer kit was for me.
Yeah, that was for her.
Okay.
And then the wine kit came along, and I enjoyed making both, but
Yeah.
she enjoyed drinking the wine more than the beer. But after we'd been here for probably 5 or 6 years, we knew that because we didn't live in Black Forest at the time, but we still lived on the Northeast Colorado Springs area.
Mm-hmm.
But we were looking to possibly move up into Black Forest and wanted to look at starting our own business as well. We were kind of tired of working for other people
Mm-hmm.
per se, but we also had just started a family, so we wanted a business that kind of coincided with family life.
Yeah.
Sometimes those two don't always correlate
So
with each
you're still getting blamed for this, Lisa.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There is, yeah,
There's that.
That theme doesn't go away.
Yeah.
definitely not. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that's kind of how we looked in Black Forest. There was a site available, land that had a house close to commercial zoning area, so it was going to be easily rezoned to commercial if that was something that we were looking at. So we kind
Had a
of
large barn.
large barn, has 10 acres, lots of space
Yeah.
for opportunity. And it actually, when we first looked at the property, it wasn't even going to be a winery at the time. It was actually going to be a brewery.
Okay.
Kind of a common theme. I'm also a brewer as
Uh-huh.
well. As
Yeah.
used to brew for a brewery in town before
All
I
right.
started the winery. But after living on the property for a couple of years and kind of doing some research and trying to see what all was going to take money-wise and development-wise to have a brewery on the space, we realized it wasn't very financially feasible in our situation.
Yeah.
And so then we looked at other options, and winery came about. And the winery was much more financially feasible for us to at least get started, at
Okay.
least to produce commercially.
And in part, is that because of maybe the competitiveness of beer in Colorado Springs versus wine?
No, well, at that time, the wine, or obviously the beer industry was up and going strongly
Yeah,
at that point
sure.
in time. It was more of just what it was going to take for us to convert the property over from either a
Okay.
brewery or to a winery. The brewery was going to require a lot more
A lot more
development.
with water rights
Okay,
and
all right.
some different things. I mean, you use a
Because
lot.
there's probably entrepreneurs listening to this
Yeah.
story. And so that's why, because we do, as a state, we are clearly thought of for beer.
Yep.
And at one time, I had served on the Colorado Wine Board. And I just thought all wines in Colorado were Palisades. And everything was over, around Grand Junction, and that's where everything was grown. People don't know a lot about Colorado wines, and so it's kind of neat that you've.
Well, we're
carved
working
this-
to change that.
There you go. That's what we're
for
talking
sure.
about.
Yes. So we kind of went down that road because along those lines, all of our wine is made from Colorado grapes.
It is. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So let's talk about, and this white wine that we have in front
The
of us?
Gewürztraminer.
The Gewürztraminer.
I'm not going to. I was going to say. Well, I'm going to make you say it because most people can't say Gewürztraminer.
Gewürztraminer, yeah.
But very nice. Well done.
I'll take 4 sips of this and then we'll do it again.
All right. Perfect.
Well, let's try it.
So,
Cheers.
cheers.
There you go. Cheers.
Ooh, I like that. That's
So-
and this is brand new.
This one's brand new. We just released it about a week ago.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's our newest one, and so it's whites take less time to produce,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
it's a 2024. But yeah, we've got a few more whites coming out here in the next couple of months over the
Okay.
springtime and whatnot. So this one's the first release that we've had.
Well, okay. So you've told us your beer background and Lisa's influence on the wine side of this. How long have you been open?
Our tasting room has been open since middle of June of last year.
Okay.
Now we've been producing commercially since 2020.
Okay.
That was the first year that
It's
we
a good
brought.
year to start a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2020.
Luck-
Yeah, I can understand why
Why
you would
not?
say, let's produce
not?
wine. Yeah, because people were drinking
That's
in
right.
2020.
Yep. So that was the first year that we brought in. It was 1 ton total, half a ton of Riesling and a half a ton of Chambourcin, which is a French hybrid grape.
Okay.
And we produced a little over 50 cases between the two. And we didn't start selling those until mid to late 2021, and we were just selling to. Had a brewery that was selling it, and then a small little restaurant up the street from us that was
In Black
selling one
Forest.
of our. And
What was that like during the pandemic? I mean, all of us clearly were there was either shut down mode, which as we know happened to hotels and restaurants and things like that. And here you guys are really going against the tide, if you will. How did that work? Did you have employees? What did you have to do?
at that point in time, it was just
It was
me.
small. It was just us.
Yeah, it was just us
Yeah,
two.
okay.
There was, I mean, like I said, we brought the grapes in 2020, but we didn't sell till 2021. And so we weren't really having to deal with any of the regulations or like the shutdown of that. And everything, since we were so small, we were just selling direct to a couple retail, a brewery and a restaurant, and then selling to friends and family. So we didn't have to
and
worry
was this
about
full time, or did you guys? No, you
Yeah.
still were working.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
We call it our R&D years.
Yeah.
There
That's
you
what we
go.
call it.
Sure,
so.
but that's what it was.
It was. It was
Of
making
course.
sure that the product was acceptable and up to our standards. He will not bottle or sell anything that's not up to his standard.
Got it.
So
So it was. At that time, we just wanted to. It was a hobby that paid for itself
Right.
for the most part.
And
We were
were
pretty
you already
really small.
named? Did you already have the name, or where'd that
Yep.
come from?
So the name we started the actual business, got our business license in 2017, and that's when we took on Latigo Winery, named it Latigo Winery. And we get asked this quite a bit: where did Latigo come from? Why did you name it? At that time, there was a Black Forest meadery up in Black Forest, and a meadery is a winery. Technically, it falls under a winery license, and
Okay.
so we didn't want to call ourselves Black Forest Winery because the two kind of coincide with each other. So we wanted something a little bit different, but we still wanted something that had to do with Black Forest.
Yeah.
Latigo is an area, an equestrian area on the eastern edge of Black Forest. We happen to have horses as well. We're on a horse property.
Yeah.
And we kind of wanted to go with the horse theme. As you can see on our glasses and on the bottles, we do have a horse on there.
Yep.
So the Latigo just felt right, and we liked the name Latigo.
Yep.
And so that's kind of how Latigo came to be.
it's in keeping with the whole Black Forest community and just being part of that area. So
Okay. Was there a point in time when you decided this could be our full-time gig, that this is what we could
curious
do?
what his answer is versus my answer because we're thinking something different.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
Well, I think it was always once we started selling the wine and we got good feedback. This would have been late 21, early 22. We knew that the product was good.
Yep.
Now, as to whether or not to go, much further into the business model and whatnot, it probably wasn't until 2023 that we decided, okay, let's actually, put more money into it,
Right.
get larger equipment, bring in more grapes at harvest time, setting us up for having an actual tasting room. Because at this point in time, we didn't have a tasting room.
Got
It was
it.
just a production facility
Yep.
on our property. But then we were like, okay, if we're going to make this go, we need to have a tasting room.
Yeah.
And to do that, we're going to have more wine. So it was we did our first festival in 2023,
Okay.
Palmer Lake Wine Festival
Mm-hmm.
in September, and it went really well.
Great.
And we sold it.
That was the flashpoint. I think.
That was
that,
the-
that
yeah,
was
that's
that was
it.
where it was like, okay, this isn't family friends, because even the restaurant and the brewery we were selling to, we knew them.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah, sure.
part of the forest.
Yeah.
They support each other.
Yeah.
But going to a festival and getting that kind of that positive response, it was like, oh, okay,
We got something.
we got something here. We can do this. Let's start looking for a space and
Okay.
actually go all in.
Yeah.
So.
So you mentioned that your grapes, you use Colorado grapes. Tell us a little bit about that and the process in which you're putting that together.
So the way that works is we go through 3 different growers over in Palisade, Grand
Yep.
Junction area.
Sure.
Back in 2020, when we were nobody knew our name. Reaching out to various growers, most of them didn't have grapes available or didn't know us, and so they wouldn't. It was hard to get our hands on fresh grapes.
Got it.
And then we finally were able to get our hands on 1 ton of grapes from a grower over there, and we've been working with him since then. But then in 23, we were able to, or actually 22, we were able to start getting in some more grapes from a much larger grower that has much more varietals as well. And so each year we put in a request of what we want, amount of tonnage-wise, and the varietals that we want for harvest time. And harvest usually starts middle of September and goes through the middle to end of October. And ways we work as of right now, as I go over with the trailer
Yeah.
and with big half-ton macro bins, or just big plastic bins, drop the bins off usually early midsummer for
Okay.
the pickers to put the grapes in. Then I'll go back over during harvest time 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
and bring the grapes back over to Black Forest, and that's where we do all the production of the grapes. And so unloading.
And you do the bottling as well?
We do,
Yeah.
It goes from grape to bottle, and everything takes place on our property.
I love that.
And it's quite the process. Harvest time is extremely busy.
Yeah.
Things can happen at a rapid pace in a moment's notice. You got to go over to the western slope and go pick up grapes,
Right.
and those are long days.
Yeah, you bet they are.
So-
Who designs your bottles and your labels?
That's going to be all Lisa. for
Is
the
that
most
Lisa's?
part.
That's me. Yep.
Okay, talk
Yep.
to us. I mean, they're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. We wanted to be traditional as far as a label. You know, there's some really modern labels, and they can be really beautiful, which we do for our blends. We have fun with our labels for the blends. For our single varietals, though, we try to keep it simple with the horse, create that brand around. So if you see this, it's Latigo.
Okay.
And we change the colors depending on the varietal that's in there. So each varietal will have its own color labels. So the Syrah has the purples, the Gewürztraminer has the greens, our Chambourcin has reds in it. So kind of keeping it simple, but keeping within the brand that we're trying to create.
Well, kudos to you. I mean,
Oh,
they
thank you.
really they look great, and it's just fun that now connecting all the dots from the western slope to here. This is really great. Let's talk to listeners who may be asking, what's the experience like? I mean, you've said you've got a tasting room, and so that's probably indoors, and it's Black Forest. So I mean, it's just, I imagine the setting is just gorgeous. Tell people a little bit about what they can expect when they come to the winery.
So our winery, we have indoor-outdoor space. We have about 20 seats inside, has a fireplace. We've got a bar with a nice, beautiful wood top. So we have that space, and then we have about 25 seats on our patio that's connected. We are dog friendly, kid friendly. We have a lot of locals regulars that come in, just really enjoy the casual atmosphere in the tasting room itself. We have a couple of employees that work with us.
Okay.
So we really try to create that atmosphere. We kind of call it the cheers of Black Forest.
I like it. That's
you know,
great.
for those regulars that come in and we know everyone's name.
Sure.
In the summer, we do a lot of events. We do have music on the patio. We bring in some food trucks. We have a charcuterie food truck that comes every other week. That's very, very popular. So, and we do tastings and flights. So everything that we produce, we sell in the tasting room by the glass, by the bottle, in a flight. We also partner with a local meadery.
Okay.
So we also offer mead, which is a honey wine for those that like something a little sweeter. And then we also have hard cider on tap. So we kind of try to appeal to,
Sure.
to different taste palettes that way. But if you come visit us, you know, you'll taste some great Colorado wines, ones that we make. We also round out the varietals with some other Colorado wineries that we really enjoy, and so that there's a little bit something for everyone, and just with an atmosphere where you can relax and enjoy. And
Yeah.
sometimes there's events.
How many, in the summer, how many days a week are you open?
So right now we are open year-round, Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday?
Thursday through Sunday, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
We stay open as long as people are there enjoying themselves, so we never turn anybody away. And those are pretty much our standard hours year-round.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, year round. When I'm sure you've had visitors come. I mean, I know you've just opened in June of 2024, so we're coming up on what will be, you know. But how did people find you? Like visitors, not locals, but when people have come in and just pulled in, if you will, what have they said? How they find you, and like what's that been like?
I think a lot of the out-of-town visitors have from Facebook, Google. I mean, Google's one. You Google winery near
Yeah.
me, and it'll come up. But all of it's a word of mouth of people that do live here that have people visiting from out of town,
Sure.
and then kind of the spread of mouth from that is where we get a lot of the visitors coming through. And then also wine festivals that we've been
Yep.
to. We've lately, or in the past year or so, we've been sticking to wine festivals that are somewhat close to us.
Okay.
Using about a 30-mile radius. We might look to expand that radius to draw in some more
Okay.
visitors from outside of that Denver
Well,
area.
And we're hoping that VisitCOS,
Yes.
.com is
We
a
are on
place where-
Visit COS.
yeah,
Yes,
where
we are.
people will find you. And that, to me, I guess one of the things that I want listeners to know is that the number one reason people come to Colorado Springs on vacation is to visit friends and family. And so what we always say is that, you can invite your friends and family to come visit, but put them in a hotel. Let's
Give them their space, and then-
Exactly. Give them their space. But what they do is they look to locals so often for ideas, like where should we go? What are we going to do? And for those who are not familiar with Colorado Springs, the north end of town is becoming a destination in and of itself. We've opened a 375-room Hotel Polaris for you to put your guests. But between Flying Horse and Great Wolf Lodge, there's lots of places up north where people can stay and put itineraries together that really are fun. And needless to say that the Ford Amphitheater, which summer of 25 will be their first full summer for live outdoor entertainment, just gives us more options for people to come, drink wine, enjoy their stay, but get out of their friends'
Right.
house.
And all of those are very close to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why I wanted to mention them, because your location, you were ahead of yourselves.
Yeah.
That's right.
You found a great area. So here's what we'd like to do to wrap. I've got 3 questions that we'd like to ask, and I'm going to ask both of you these questions because you've lived here for 20 years and you both will have interesting answers. So, Lisa, let's start with you. In 3 words, how would you describe Colorado Springs?
Okay. Sunny. It's the first thing that would come to mind. Sunny. Just 3 words. That's hard. Variety of things to do. I don't know what one word
right.
that is.
Okay.
Because I think there's a lot to do here in the Springs, and welcoming.
Okay. Sunny, variety of things, and welcoming. Okay, Ben, what would you say?
Can I go 2 words?
Typical male. Right, I only got 2. Doug, here they are. Take them.
Ever expanding.
Ever expanding. Okay, yeah. All right. What do you mean?
So
by that?
well, I mean, you look around, especially you talk about the northeast or the northern part of the Colorado Springs,
Yeah.
and it always seems to be expanding. But then also on the east side, I mean, Colorado Springs is growing into Peyton, Falcon, and all the new growth is
Yeah.
on the east side or on the north side. And every time you look around, it's changing.
It's blossoming.
yeah.
Blossoming.
There's my word.
There's a-
Blossoming.
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 Perfect. All right, Ben will stay with you.
All right.
What's your favorite hidden gem in the Pikes Peak region? Like where's your go-to place to?
Honestly, it's in my backyard.
Really?
Or we have 10 acres.
Of course,
the front 5.
listeners are going to want to know,
I know.
if they can come to your backyard
For a fee, they
For
can
All right,
You know,
so your
like
backyard.
Harvest house. We got campground space back now, but we have 10 acres, and 5 of it's somewhat is I don't want to say developed, but that's where. But the other 5 is wooded,
Okay.
and it's quiet. It's peaceful.
Okay.
It's where the horses hang out, and you can have some peace and quiet back there.
Okay, so Lisa, when you leave home, I don't know whether you take Ben with you or not.
Sometimes.
But like, where's your hidden gem?
Oh,
Where's
I
your
was
space?
I was close. I was going to say, well, Latigo Winery, of course.
Yes,
right
yes.
across the street. I think is a hidden gem
But to unwind.
to unwind. Yeah, I was trying to think where I go to unwind. We do like to stay up north in the northern part
Yeah.
of town, where it is just growing quite a bit. And looking for, we have some favorite places that we like to go. Do we name actual places?
If you want to.
I mean, where we usually go is like Gastropub. Atmosphere Gastropub
Okay.
is a nice place that we can go to. Just anywhere we can go with our friends.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little hidden
Right.
local places.
Okay, so this last question, I'll stay with you first, Lisa, is going to get you perhaps out of Black Forest and thinking about your bucket list. What is something that you have not done here in Colorado Springs or in Pikes Peak region that's still on your bucket list?
Well, for me, I guess in Colorado, we do like to camp
Mhm.
and stuff. And so my friend and I, we like to do the 14ers.
Yeah.
So just knocking off the 14ers. We haven't
Okay.
done them all yet.
What's
No.
next? What's your next 14er on your list?
Oh, we are camping in July. We're looking at we're in the collegiate peaks this time. So probably either Mount Yale or Mount Princeton
Okay.
is where we're
All
going
right.
to do one of those. Haven't decided yet.
Okay.
So.
And Ben, what about you? Bucket list.
Bucket list. Eisenhower Golf Course.
Oh,
on
at the Air Force Academy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably one of the places in the Springs that I have not gotten to do.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that would probably be.
That would be-
I do enjoy the golf. I unfortunately just don't get to play golf much anymore since we've had kids and daytime jobs and
And the winery.
the winery. It's-
You did set up for me to remind listeners that June 25 to 29, the Broadmoor is hosting the U.S. Senior Open Men's Golf Championship this year. Comes about every 6 or 7 years. It was last year in 2018. So for anybody who's listening that wants to get with Ben and, if you can't go on to play the Eisenhower course, come down to the Broadmoor and see U.S. Senior Open with the the best in the world.
No, it's a fantastic event. We were actually there
at that.
for the Senior Open last time
In
they were
2018?
through.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a great atmosphere, and it's that whole area is beautiful, right
Yeah.
next to Cheyenne Mountain and whatnot. Yeah,
I know. So put a bow on it for us. What would you like, listeners? Let's remind them of the website, and I'll let you guys invite people to come.
So yeah, check out our Facebook page, Latigo Winery. That will keep you up to date on all of our events that we have going on.
It's
throughout the
Latigo.
Yep. And then go to the website. That has another where you can see our events. And then just come hang out with us.
Yeah.
And we're a very casual atmosphere. We're not wine snobs. We don't take wine too seriously. We like to make good wine, but we like people to have fun when they come there.
Sure.
And so we just hang out and enjoy a good conversation with us or with other people that you might meet there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lisa, what would you add? Anything?
I think pretty much the same. There is a lot to do in Northern Colorado Springs and Black Forest. We do have people that like to go hiking.
Yep.
Bring their horses in. So you can definitely go for a hike, go for a walk in Section 16, and then come hang out with us afterwards. Reward yourself with
Sure.
a little glass of wine, sangria.
Yep.
In the summer, we have the frozen wine, the slushies, which are
Yeah.
very popular.
Sure.
And bring your dogs. We do get a lot of people saying, "Can I bring my dogs?" Absolutely. I mean, that probably should have been my other word for Colorado is dog.
Dog-friendly.
Everyone
know.
has a dog,
Yeah.
so we love dogs as well. So just, if you're looking for good wine, locally made, and just come visit us and hang out.
Well, Lisa and Ben, thank you for sharing your story, for sharing your dream, and doing it here in Colorado Springs. It's one of those stories that I look back on people that I've gotten to know in this business and in the hospitality tourism industry here. And there's so many family businesses. We are not a city that is overrun with chains. I mean, chains have their place, and we're thankful that Powers and everybody, they have all those places. But we are just so fortunate to have people who dream and believe that we are an up and coming, expanding area. And this is just a perfect example of it. So thank you for coming on the show. And we just wish you a great second summer season. And I hope you get on the Eisenhower Golf Course.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, my
So this
pleasure.
has been fun.
Thanks.
And